Hello, good morning all of you. Welcome to this class again. So long we were studying about geography, and particularly we talked about the point of agriculture. So today we shall change from geography to political scene. So we shall study about our political life, and especially under the topic judiciary. Shall study about judiciary. You know what is judiciary? Judiciary means the court. We said in the earlier chapter that a democracy has got, or our country has got, three pillars. What are they? Legislative, executive and judiciary. So we study today about judiciary. The other days we had studied about parliament. That is the parliament. That is what is it called? Legislative. Parliament is the legislative. Then we studied about executive. That is the ministers, the MPs, the police. All these are executive. Today we shall study about judiciary. And who are the members of the judiciary? The different judges. They are the judiciary. The judges who give the verdict, who listen to the plea or the case of the people and give the judgment. They are the judges, or they are the members of the judiciary. So judiciary is playing a very important role in our country, and let us learn about it. You can take lesson number 5, page 54. So a glance at the newspaper provides you a glimpse of range of work done by the courts in our country. So if you read through the newspapers in our country, we learn a lot of stories about our country. That case verdicted, this fellow is punished, that fellow is given that punishment, imprisonment, life capital punishment, life imprisonment and so on. So we can hear so many cases, the court is hearing and giving the verdict, what should be the punishment that they should undergo for the mistake that they have done and so on. But can you think of why we need these courts? As you have read in Unit 2, in India we have the rule of law. We have the rule of law. And what this means is that laws apply equally all persons, and that a certain set of fixed procedures need to be followed when the law is violated. So we said in our country law is supreme. Law is above everyone else. Anyone who does the mistake, he will have to undergo punishment. Whether he is a president or prime minister or ordinary farmer, doesn't matter. All should get equal punishment. That is the system, that is the law. Law treats everyone equally, and everybody is equal before the law. That is the situation in our country. Therefore, the law applies everybody equally. And to enforce this rule of law, we have a judicial system that consists of mechanism of courts that a citizen can approach when the law is violated. So, in order to provide equal justice to everyone, we have the courts in our country, and everyone feels, anyone when his rights are violated or somebody is committing violence, then he can approach the court to get justice for him, and the court is supposed to provide justice for him. So that is the reason, that is the need for the court in our country. And it can play this role only because it is independent. What does an independent judiciary mean? Is there any connection between the court in your area and the Supreme Court in New Delhi? In this chapter you will find answers to this question. So, if the court has to judge everyone equally, if everyone has to be equal before the law, then the judiciary has to be independent. So the judges should be free to make the rule, just free to make the judgment. Suppose that they are not independent, somebody is controlling them, then they cannot make that free judgment. For example, the Prime Minister is controlling the judiciary. Then if Prime Minister makes some mistake, court cannot give punishment to him, because Prime Minister will say, I will give you punishment, or I will dismiss you. So that means they are not independent. So here in India, judiciary is independent. Therefore, any person commits violence, any person violates the law, then the court is free to take judgment. The court is free to give its verdict. That is a law of rule in our country. So anyone who violates the law, he can be punished. Nobody should control the judiciary. They should be given complete independence to listen to the case and give the verdict. They have the full freedom for that. Now let us see what is the role that judiciary is playing in our country. The role, the duty that judiciary is performing in our country. So courts take decisions on a very large number of issues. So courts are taking a very large number of issues. They can decide that no teacher can beat a student, or about the sharing of river waters between states, or they can punish people for particular crimes and so on. So different types of cases come in front of them. Suppose a teacher is beating the student unnecessarily, then the student can complain to the court that teacher is punishing me unnecessarily, or teacher is beating me very hard, or between two states, a river is flowing through different states, and the state can go and complain, I am not getting enough water, all the water is taken away by another state, I am getting very little water. So the states also can complain to the court. The court will give the verdict. So from one individual to one state, it can. So water scarcity means not just one person is going and complaining, but one state government is going and complaining. So court is above the government. That is why government is going to the court to get justice. So different types of cases are coming to the court every day, and they give verdict to everyone. They give the correct judgment to everyone. Then broadly speaking, the work that the judiciary does can be divided into the following. So we can say what are the works that this judiciary is doing. First one is dispute resolution. The first role is dispute resolution. So the dispute resolution, they try to solve all the disputes of people, government and so on. So the judicial system provides mechanism for resolving disputes between citizens and the government, between two state governments, and between central and state government. So any dispute is it can be between two people, or it can be between a person and the state government, or it can be between two state governments, or it can be between one state government and the central government. So whatever type of disputes are there in our country, we can approach the court and they will give you the verdict, they will give you the solution. So that is the first duty of the court, to solve the disputes in the country. Then second one is judicial review. Judicial review. As the final interpreter of the Constitution, the judiciary also has the power to strike down particular laws passed by the Parliament if it believes that there are violations of the basic structure of the Constitution. This is called judicial review. So, suppose the laws are made by the legislative. We said laws are made in the legislative, that is in the Parliament or in the state assembly. So they make the law and passed by the Parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Afterwards it becomes a law. But if the court is finding that this law that is passed by the Parliament, it is not suitable for the people, it is violating the fundamental rights of the people, it is blocking the people from exercising their freedom. Therefore, the court can say this law is barred or suspended. So, court has got the power. So, court is above the legislative. Court has got the right to decide whether this law is fitting for the people or not. So accordingly, the judiciary can, it is called judicial review. The law that is passed by the government or by the parliament, it can be suspended by the judiciary if they see that it is not suitable for the people or it is harmful for the people and so on. Then the third duty is upholding law. Upholding law and enforcing fundamental rights. That is another duty of the parliament. They have to uphold the law. Always they have to protect the law. They have to make sure the law of the country is supreme and that is practiced and that is above everyone else. Then they have to enforce the fundamental rights. That every person is able to benefit from the fundamental rights that are granted in the constitution. Nobody should block them from using their fundamental rights. That is a duty. So every citizen of India can approach the Supreme Court or the High Court if they believe that their fundamental rights have been violated. So how many fundamental rights are there? We studied earlier about 6 fundamental rights that is granted to every citizen of our country by the Constitution of India. And if any of these fundamental rights are violated, then the people can approach the court and say, my fundamental right is violated, so give me justice. So they will listen to you. For example, in the class 7 book you read about Hakim Sheikh, an agricultural laborer who fell from a running train and injured himself and whose condition got worse because several hospitals refused to admit him. So, you saw already an example of a person. He fell down from the train and he was taken to the hospital, but hospital people did not admit him. They said, we will not treat you. So, that is a violation of the fundamental right. He has got the right to receive treatment from the hospital, but they refused to accept him, refused to give him treatment. So on hearing this case, the Supreme Court ruled that Article 21, which provides every citizen fundamental right to life, also includes right to health. So Supreme Court said the Constitution guarantees that fundamental right to life. So that is fundamental right given to us. So that is including right to health. So I have got, my health is weak or I am injured, I have got the right to go to hospital and receive treatment. That is part of my right to life, fundamental right. So government said, therefore, directed the West Bengal government to pay him compensation for the loss suffered, as well as to come up with a blueprint for primary health care with a particular reference to treatment of patients during an emergency. So the court gave that. So this incident happened in West Bengal, and therefore the court told the West Bengal government, you give him compensation. So he came for treatment and you did not give him treatment. So the government is responsible. So give him compensation for all the loss that he has suffered, and also bring out a blueprint. Blueprint means a law. Write down a law that about the treatment of patients during emergency. So when a patient is suffering from emergency, so he is in danger, accident, met with accident, immediately he needs the treatment. So such kind of cases, what will you do? So write down in a law. So court gave a verdict to the government. So the government had to obey the order of the Supreme Court. So you can see in your picture, the picture of the Supreme Court building. What does it say? The above photo shows the Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court was established on 26 January 1950, the day India became a republic. So you can underline. When did the Supreme Court was established? When was the Supreme Court established? 1950, January 26. And that date has got another importance with concern to India. It was on this day India was declared as a republic. And like its predecessor, the Federal Court of India, it was earlier located in the Chamber of Princes in the Parliament House. So before the Supreme Court was started, the court in India was known as Federal Court, and that was inside the Parliament House. And it moved to its present building in Mathura Road in New Delhi in 1958. So this new building was started in 1958, but Supreme Court was started in 1950, but it did not have a separate building, therefore it was functioning inside the Parliament building. You have seen in the previous lesson the photo of the Parliament building. So Supreme Court also was inside that. So after that they made separate building for the Supreme Court, and that's what you see in the picture here, the photo of the Supreme Court. So that was, the new building was started in 1958. But in India, Supreme Court started functioning in 1950, January 6, when India became a republic country. Now let us see what is an independent judiciary. We said judiciary should be independent, so that it can make proper rules, it can make proper judgments, it can give proper verdict. Nobody should be, no need to be afraid of anyone. They can be completely pure, completely free. So let us see what is the meaning of that. What do you understand when we say judiciary should be completely independent? So imagine a situation in which a powerful politician has encroached on land belonging to your family. Within this judicial system, the politician has the power to appoint and dismiss a judge from his office. When you take this case to the court, the judge is clearly partial to the politician. So just imagine, in our country, the politicians are more powerful than the judges, or the ministers or other government officers are more powerful than judges. They have got the power to punish the judge or dismiss him or transfer him and so on. So if that is the case, if there is a case comes against a politician, for example, politician is coming and encroaching your land, he is making fencing inside your land and taking away your land, and your land become very small. So what will you do? If you go to the court and complain against the politician, the judge will be afraid. If I take action against this politician, he may dismiss me, or he may transfer me to some interior place, and then my life will be very troublesome there. So the judge will be thinking that way, and he will say, oh no, this politician, what he has done is correct, and you will be losing the case. So that can happen if the judiciary is not independent. But thank God, in our country it is not so. We have independent judiciary. No politician has got the power to punish the judge. Therefore, they are free to make the correct judgment. So even if a ministry is making mistake, the judge will be free to say, and he will be able to judge the case properly and find out who had the mistake and punish the guilty. That is the meaning of independent judiciary. So he is not controlled by anyone. The judge is completely free to make the proper judgment. So the control that the politician holds, over the judge does not allow for the judge to take an independent decision, and this lack of independence would force the judge to make all judgments in favor of the politician. And although we often hear of rich and powerful people in India trying to influence the judicial process, the Indian Constitution protects against this kind of situation of providing for the independence of the judiciary. So, as I said, in the case of the politician trying to encroach your land, since he has no power to influence the judge will be able to give the clear verdict, he will be able to punish the guilty. But if that is not, the independence is not there, means always the judge will be afraid to take action against the politician, and he will be trying to justify the politician's act and say politician has not done any mistake. And so the rich and the powerful people, they will be often escaping from the punishment if the judiciary is not independent. So one aspect of this independence is separation of powers. So we say judiciary is independent because there is separation of powers. Let us see what is the meaning of what we understand by separation of powers. This, as you read in chapter 1, is a key feature of the constitution. What this means here is that other branches of the state like legislature and the executive cannot interfere in the work of judiciary. So the courts are not under the government and do not act on their behalf. So it has got separation of powers. We said the three branches of the democracy or of the constitution, that it has got legislative, executive and judiciary. So all these three are separate powers, and they are not kept only on with one person. It is on separately. So judiciary is with the court, and legislative is MPs and MLAs, and then executive is with the ministers and other government officers. So everything is separate. So nobody can control judiciary. Judiciary is completely independent. The legislature cannot say we are the one making law, therefore we are more powerful. They cannot say. So they make the law, and the court will find out whether everybody is obeying this law or not. So if the ministers are making the law, it does not mean that minister does not have to follow the law. Minister also has to obey that law which he himself is making. And if he is not making, the judge will say you are guilty, you will be punished. So the powers are separated and it is not with the same person. Therefore independence in judiciary is available there. So for the above separation to work well, it is also crucial that all judges in the High Court as well as the Supreme Court are appointed with every little interference from these other branches of government. Once appointed to this office, it is also very difficult to remove a judge. Therefore, the judges are appointed not by government. Government has very little role in appointing a judge. So the judge is appointed according to the law that is written down. The law is written down how a judge is to be appointed, who will be the judge, and so on. Therefore, the government has got very little role or little power in appointing or in deciding who will be the next judge in that court. And once the judge is appointed, then very difficult to remove him. So he will continue till he gets retirement. Unless he makes very serious allegations and it is proved, he will continue to remain a judge. Nobody can. It is not very easy to remove him. That is the condition of the judges in our country. Therefore, the politicians cannot overpower them. The politician cannot show their power, saying that I will remove you, I will dismiss you. They cannot say. So, once appointed, the judge will continue to remain there. Therefore, the others cannot force them. And it is the independence of the judiciary that allows the courts to play a central role in ensuring that there is no misuse of power by a legislature and executive. So, because this court is independent, there is no misuse of power. Suppose the court is depending on ministers and other government officers, then it will not be independent. The minister will come and say, do like this or give judgment like this, or tomorrow one person will be coming, he is my relative and don't punish him. So minister will be giving like that if it is not independent. So here the judiciary is independent, therefore the minister cannot go and say you must give judgment like this, you must not punish this fellow is my friend, he is dear to me, you should not punish. So he cannot say all those things because judiciary is independent. The minister has nothing to do with judiciary. Since the judiciary is independent of the legislature and the executive, they are able to give free verdict without partiality, without any sides lines. You will be able to give fair judgment to everyone. It also plays a crucial role in protecting the fundamental rights of citizens, because anyone can approach the courts if they believe that their rights can be violated. So it plays a very crucial role in protecting the fundamental rights of the citizens. We said the citizens have got 6 fundamental rights, and it is the duty of the court to find out or to check that the people's fundamental rights are not violated by other people, other citizens, not violated by the state government or by minister or by central government. Nobody has got the right to violate the fundamental right of a citizen. So it is the courts are the guardians. The courts are the one who checks and makes sure that the fundamental rights of the people are protected. So we must appreciate the courts because they are doing their work of protecting or guarding the rights of the people. And if anyone right is violated, then I can complain to the court, and court will make sure that my rights are restored. If I lose the right to life or right to stay or right to work, then I can approach the court, and the court will call the other party and say why my rights are violated by him or by the state government or by the central government, and the court will give the order to make sure that people's right to live or right to life or other fundamental rights are not violated. It is a must for everyone. Therefore, people will be happy to approach the court and receive in full the rights to live a fully human life. So that is why the courts are there, and they are given independence to give the correct judgment, and we hope and we believe that the judges will do their level best in order to protect the life of the people, to protect the rights of the people, and help them to live a honest life, a dignified life, and they will be enjoying the protection of the law. Whether I am a rich person or a poor person, I should not have fear to go to the court. I should have that full confidence. If I go to the court will give me judgment. The court will give me the right judgment, so that I will be able to live my life comfortably without losing my dignity, without struggling. That means people should not attack me, people should not take away my property, people should not take away my right to equality and so on. I should be able to live an honorable life. Nobody should distinguish or take away, discriminate me, take away my rights and so on. So without any discrimination, I should be able to live an equal life. I should be able to experience equality in my life. And for that, the court is helping us. So let us be grateful to this court and support the court, so that they will continue to deliver the correct judgment and protect the people and help them to be their guardian. So let us wind up for today, and the next class we will learn about the structure of the court, how the courts are functioning, what is the shape of the court in this country, and so on. So today let us wind it up. So you read again and see this lesson and try to understand the important points, try to understand about the different rules or different roles of our duties of our court in our country and so on. So thank you for listening. Bye.